When historical fiction tries to include characters who are progressive, it can often feel quite disingenuous and anachronistic, because even though, of course, there have always been people who supported women's rights and queer rights and civil rights, etc., understanding was different, talking points were different, ideology was just different. And when authors write these characters to have very 21st century ideas about all of these issues, it just doesn't ring true. We should have the understanding that progressive people had in those time periods. Like, I just read a book by KJ Charles, and I really like the way this author handles it, because their books always have a very diverse cast, but it's always approached in a way that feels genuine for the time period, at least to me. I'm not an expert. But for example, in this book, there is a character, a doctor, who is doing illegal abortions because abortion was illegal in that time period. And this is relevant to the plot. But the discussion around it wasn't talking about things like women's right to bodily autonomy. The point was just, women are getting abortions. They are going to quacks and getting back alley abortions done and dying. And so many women every year are dying from these dangerous, poorly done illegal abortions. And there needs to be a safe alternative. And that makes sense for the early 1900s. The main character in this book is gay. And again, there's no discussion of things like homosexuality as an innate sexuality. Nobody's talking about things like gay marriage. That's not even something that crosses the minds of the characters. There isn't even anything about like the gross indecency laws are unfair and homophobic. That's just not something they're thinking about, because that's a very 21st century way of looking at these issues. Anyway, I find it refreshing.